Um, Hi there, Rick here. Just making a YouTube video on the garden. So this was back a couple years ago, maybe 2021. I noticed at the place where I buy my groceries, head lettuce, okay, was like $6.99 for a head, okay. And wow, I was trying to figure out, okay, why is the head lettuce so expensive in the city now? I found out later, okay, that apparently there was some sort of shortage in the head lettuce. That's why it shot up 600%. I have to remember, okay, it went from 99 cents about all the way up to $6.99 for a head of lettuce, so $7. Okay, I I kind of wondered whether or not could that possibly happen to a lot of other vegetables, okay? And I would say that, yeah, that could possibly happen to a lot of other vegetables, okay? The reason why I say that is because there's lots of factors that that could affect it, okay, and make it very expensive in the city. The cost for fertilizer, okay, the cost of transportation. There's so many factors that can affect the price of the vegetables, okay. Even to something else that could affect the price is the people that do the work, okay? The people that do the work, I don't think they're union, okay? But still, they have to make a living, okay? If the cost of living go up for them, for example, the people that, help produce the fruits and vegetables, okay? The cost of living goes up, of course, yeah. They're going to want a raise, right? And I don't blame them because just look at the amount of inflation around the city, especially if you live in the city here. I was talking to an owner of an apartment building in Vancouver, just asking him, okay, how much does it cost to rent a one bedroom these days? And he goes, $2,100. And then I said, what about for a two bedroom? He goes, $2,400. And then I said to him, wow, are people even rent? Are you renting out all the units in your apartment building? And he goes, yeah, we're, believe it or not, there's a wait list to get in to the apartment building. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, wow, there's still a lot of people in the city that can afford it, right? Maybe they have a good job, or they just have a larger family, and more people in the family have to go out to work, right? If everybody brings in a little bit, okay, you can easily afford rent. But if it's just one income earner, okay, I could see it being quite difficult. Two income earners, yeah, it's a little bit easier, okay. I just heard that minimum wage in BC is going to go up October 1st, I think, to $15.65 an hour. And I was going to say it's about time, okay? Because when I was working, okay, in a big vinyl window company, a lot of East Indians were working with me in that warehouse, okay? I know that they were making minimum wage, okay? And I thought to myself, wow, they must, have to live with quite a few other roommates, or with a lot of other family members. Okay. I was friends with Arnold. Okay, he was my coworker, and I helped him move one time. Okay, and there was literally, I think, a total of 3 families. Okay, living in the house. 3 families, and it was kind of sad too, because I know that his wife wasn't that healthy, okay? I think when I was talking to him, okay, his wife was 38 years old, and I think she died within about 1 or 2 years. I don't know what she had, but she was just unhealthy, right? I've seen his 2 little boys too. He had 2 little boys, pretty cute boys. Okay, I think they were twins actually. They seemed like quite bright too. I always felt that Arnold was a bright person too, and his kids were kind of bright. Back to the vegetables again. Vegetables are actually going up quite a bit, around the city here, because I've seen, I've seen here in the city, okay, even apples, oranges, okay, a lot of fruit these days, you're paying at least $1 each for them, okay, and grapes, okay, like the summer before, okay, I remember seeing the grapes on the shelf for like $1.99, and I don't think it went below, okay, this summer didn't go below $3.99 a pound, okay, probably just because, okay, it wasn't a good season, and they didn't have as many grapes as they normally had, right? So prices were higher, right? Or it could have been other factors too. I don't know for certain. But I would say that the city is being hit with a wave of inflation, and I kind of wonder, okay, what's causing all this inflation? Because it's not just happening here in North America. It's happening right around the entire world, okay? Could it be the war, okay? You have 2 of the biggest European countries fighting with one another, Ukraine and Russia, right? And I know that Canada, okay, Justin Trudeau, okay, gave Ukraine $500 million. I heard this maybe about 4 months ago, $500 million, for the war, okay? And I'm sure he's going to give even more money other times as well, okay? This was probably just not a one-time thing. He's going to continue to support the war and, contribute a lot of Canadian money to the war. And I always wonder sometimes, okay, where is this money coming from? Okay, are they just printing more money? Okay, and then it's just, this money is coming into existence just from the printing of money, okay? But you have to remember, okay, if you print large sums of money, okay, it actually ruins the economy, okay? Unlike, okay, say for instance, we are using gold and silver as money, okay? You have to go mine it, right? There's still a lot of work involved, moving tons of dirt and getting that gold and silver out of the ground, right? That's what's unique about gold and silver, okay? It's not that easy to create. You know, it's been used as money for like 5,000 years too, right? It's survived 2 world wars, right? Um, you know, imagine if, okay, they were trying to use some sort of cryptocurrency back then during World War I or World War II, right? I don't think it would have taken off, okay? You have to remember um, when United States, okay, when their country was forming, okay, I believe they started minting coins in 1875, okay, and the very first gold coins, wow, I heard that, well, in today's age, they're actually worth quite a bit of money, okay, because it's the rarity of it too, right? You know, there wasn't that many that were minted, right? When I was at a coin shop in Vancouver here, okay, I was looking at the minted coins from Greece 100 years ago, okay, and it was so small, okay. What can I compare it to? Okay, you see how small the size of a pea is, okay? Just imagine something about half that size, maybe even a little bit less than half, okay? And it's a piece of silver, okay? And what it looks like is somebody used a hammer and hit it on an anvil, okay? And there you go. That was a minted coin, okay? You have to remember this is 100 years ago, so well, just the technology was very primitive that long ago, okay? You know, and the people that figured out new ways how to mint coins, okay, and make it look, well, really nice, right? You know, they probably, well, got a job, you know, minting coins for the country, right? Rulers, okay, of Rome a long time ago, okay? The ones that were actually minting coins, you know, they were considered kind of like a good time, okay, for commerce. The country, okay, was always very good at that time, right? And it wasn't until, okay, it wasn't until the country, okay, was what they were doing was that they were debasing the currency, okay? They're mixing other metals with the silver and with the gold, okay? And they're even snipping off portions of the coin to make new coins, okay? And you have to remember, okay, this is the time of the Roman Empire, and believe it or not, like, even the people way back then, okay, they were still smart, okay? Like, you have to remember, they knew that their currency was being debased, okay? And they're mixing other metals with the coin. And the people that, okay, that had coins with no clippings in it, they felt that, okay, this silver or this gold coin was worth more money, which it was, because, well, it weighed more. It didn't get any clippings yet, right? So those coins were being hoarded. And because even during the times of the Roman times, okay, they had a way to, well, measure the value of a coin, and they were weighing them, okay? And I'm sure when, well, some of the people, they realize, okay, what the tax man is doing, okay? They're using those clippings and they're remelting it and making more coins, okay? And, you know, they knew that, you know, this wasn't quite right? You know, you're debasing the currency, right? Um, you can imagine, okay, say for instance they had a paper currency back then, okay, um, you know, would it have caught on? Okay, like what I'm trying to say is, um, would the people have trusted it? Okay, and they had used it as currency? Okay, you have to remember when the United States was forming too. Okay, there was different currency popping up. Okay, and some of the currency was failing. Okay, people just weren't accepting it, right? Just to name an example, okay, there was a currency called the Continental Dollar, okay, and this currency, okay, it apparently it failed, okay. It was becoming worth less and less, okay, and then there was even a saying, not worth a continental dollar, okay. I think it went as low as 10 cents or something like this, from $1 to 10 cents. And I think they were using this currency, okay, to help fund the war, okay, because the United States was having a civil war too, okay. And well, it's not that easy to pay people in gold and silver, okay, just because it's a lot of work, okay, to dig up all this gold and silver out of the ground. You have to process it, right? First of all, well, you have to find it, right? You have to find a good gold deposit, a good silver deposit, and the people that that were paying their soldiers in gold and silver, okay, the population realized, wow, this is a lot better compared to paying the soldiers in paper currency, right? And then there's the numismatic value of it too, right? You have to remember that, okay, if the people had kept this gold, okay, it would have, okay, and it was passed down, 100 years or 200 years, okay. There's the numismatic value, okay, and sometimes too the numismatic value is actually making the coin worth more than even the gold itself or the silver itself, okay, because it's from a time, okay, a period in time, okay. It kind of like symbolizes a age when things were a lot different, right? It almost becomes like a relic, okay. Imagine how many hands, okay, that coin has passed through. Like, just probably literally, thousands of people, different people, right? And look at all the stories of gold, okay, and even silver too, okay. Silver, gold, has more stories about it, compared to, say, for instance, paper currency, okay? Because even if you had some of the currency from say, when United States started to form as a country. No, I'll give you another example, okay? This was in China in 1949. I asked my dad had he remembered this, okay? And he said yes, okay? There was a kind of like a civil war happening in China, okay? And so you had almost like two governments printing their own paper currency, okay? And some of the currency, okay, was okay, it was being accepted this week, and then the next week it was obsolete, okay. So what that meant was, okay, this currency that the people worked for, okay, it's no longer worth anything, okay. Had they paid the people in gold and silver, okay, this currency would, it would have been worth money, right? No matter what had happened, the currency would have been worth money. Why would it been worth money? Okay, well, it was sound money, right? Gold and silver, okay? Because in today's age, okay, there's a lot of talk about, okay, these economists, talking about fiat currency, just saying how, they're not, it's not worth anything, or it's, it's really risky sometimes holding it, okay? I do see it as risky, okay, in a way, okay? Just because if you look at some countries' debt, okay, the debt is sometimes so high that it looks like it's gonna bankrupt the country almost, okay? Just to give you an example, Zimbabwe, okay, they printed a dollar, okay, that was, it was kind of almost funny in a way, okay, because they printed a currency note, $1 trillion, okay, and I think it's only worth something like 10 cents, maybe even less, okay. They just sometimes, okay, they try to make the people feel that, okay, this is worth a lot of money, right? And then make the people feel rich, right? They say, okay, we'll pay you $3 trillion, okay, and then you do the work for me, okay. If they are paying them in gold or even silver, okay, they probably, wouldn't even want to use gold and silver, right? Because they know how valuable it is, right? It doesn't expire, okay. It's held value through the ages, okay, through past 5,000 years. The Egyptians, okay, they knew it was valuable, right? And I kind of wonder sometimes, okay, the workers, okay, that built the pyramids, okay, for the pharaohs. I heard that, okay, it's written in their written language, okay, that the workers did have some sort of strike, okay, because it's recorded in their tablets, okay. I guess the workers weren't happy with what they were getting paid, okay. And you have to remember, this is 5,000 years ago, right? And because they weren't happy with what they were getting paid, they were probably demanding, more gold or more silver, okay, for the work that they were doing on the pyramids, okay. I think the more skilled workers, okay, on the pyramids, okay, they got paid more than what some of the other workers got, okay. But it was probably a very interesting time too, right? And if you look at, okay, some of the pharaohs houses and palaces, it looked quite nice for the time, right? You had this nice stonework, right? You had different floors, 2-level floors. Not sure if they had 3 levels, okay? But it's very interesting that what people used for money through the centuries. And how their commerce moved through their society, right? I kind of wonder sometimes, you know, um, some of the things, okay, that we hold value to, okay, um, will it be worth a lot of money 100 years from now, okay? I won't be around anymore, right? I see that, okay, when I was a teenager, um, there was some stock that was like 10 cents a share, like Apple, okay? Um, it was worth only 10 cents a share. Had you bought some of it, right? You would uh yeah, if you bought like, okay, 1,000 shares or 2,000 shares, you wouldn't have to work anymore, just because you could live off the dividends what you made from the shares, right?